Good morning. Welcome to Goodwill Commodities. In this presentation, we are going to see how we can trade in Mcx crude oil today. Before looking into that, let us see what happened yesterday and what we expected yesterday. The chart you are viewing is an 1 hour chart. That means all the single candlestick here represents 1 hour. Whenever I place the cursor on any particular candlestick, you can see the date and time below. These vertical dotted lines indicates the price opening and closing for the respective days. You could see this tiny black color candlestick that indicates yesterday's price opening. As I told, whenever I place the cursor on any candlestick, you can see the date and time below. So you can see this black color candlestick, which indicates that the price opened somewhere around 6290. So what we expected yesterday was, we expected that crude has got the potential to stay in uptrend till 6220. We consider this as one of the major zone. Only if the crude breaks the 6220 and put a closing below this, we can expect the market to reverse its trend. So till then we expected crude to stay in buying. In order to have a clear guidance, we had drawn two trend lines. We had modified the trend lines and we had drawn two trend lines. Also, we had explained in our yesterday's presentation how we had drawn this trend line. But we have also taken into account all these resistance zone. So in order to identify the downtrend line, we had marked the downtrend line also. So we want to be very careful dealing with crude. Now let us see what happened after the price opening. So you can see after the price opening, the price straight away it went and tried to break this 6313. So as we always say, support and resistance is not a single line, it is a zone. So the price tried to stay above this. You can see also the price was taking some support along the trend line. We always say that trend line is also called support and resistance line. Normally people get confused that normally what all the traders think was only these horizontal lines are called support and resistance line. Trend lines are also called support and resistance line. So that is the power of trend line. So if you can master the art of how you should draw the trend line and how you should modify the trend line, trend lines are the most powerful traditional tool you can use, like the horizontal support and resistance line. So you can see the price was taking some support along the trend line and it was trying to stay above that. Even after breaking this, the price again came down and took some support along the support line which we had marked. Now it should act as a support since the price was trading below. If the price was trading below any resistance zone, it should act as a resistance. If it was trading above that, then it should act as a support, which means that support and resistance interchanges itself. So what happened is that it couldn't stay there. Again there was a drop and it took some support along the trend line. You can see the wig of the candlestick, you can call it also as a shadow of the candlestick or leg of the candlestick. It again came down and took some support along the trend line. That is the importance why we are drawing these trend lines, in order to identify the trend. But we know that here you can see the downtrend line is also dropping down. So normally if you see these two trend lines, if you follow these two trend lines, it's coming up like a triangle. So we are closely into a type of pattern. So now closely monitor that. It's taking a resistance along this zone, and after breaking this, the price dropped down and it broke the second trend line also. So where it came down, it broke again this 6260 zone, came down and came down near 6225. So it was a major drop, more than 100 point drop. So why we had drawn this trend line? Yesterday we had made a very detailed explanation, because this is a tutorial. It is like an explanation which you can also use, because whenever we are very careful when the price, because normally what happens is that when the price was picking up the trend, like what happened in the last few weeks, it's very easy for trading because the price was staying in line with the momentum. So it is very easy where whenever you purchase or if you buy any crude, the price would have gone higher. But whenever it is moving sideways like how what is happening now, you should be very careful. That is the reason if you see our earlier presentation, only this time we are using all these trend lines and stuffs. Earlier we would not have used that because the price was staying in trend. Now you should be very careful. That is the reason we had made all these things possible, so that if you are a conservative trader, you can exit from the market when the price breaks the trend. So you need not push till the end. So that's the most important factor why we are drawing these trend lines. Now what we can do in crude oil today? So because the price had tested the key zone of 6220, now it's staying within this zone. As we expected, when the price moves on, the key average which we are following, moving average, is also converging here, the exact in the zone of 6220, to make this zone a very highly potential zone. Now what we are going to do, as I told you, trend lines are the most powerful tool if it was used in the right way. You should know how to modify the trend lines. Most people, they don't know how to modify the trend line. This is the way we are modifying the trend line. Just have a look into it, how we are using this trend line and how we are modifying this trend line. So it's very simple. Now I am going to check whether I had modified it properly, whether I had connected the 2 points properly. This is the low that created yesterday and the low that was created on 9th of July. Yes, it was connected properly. The low that was created on yesterday and the low that created on July 7th. Yes, June 1st, where the market turned its momentum, where the market broke the average and start picking up the momentum. Yeah, now it's correct. This is a way of checking the trend line when you modify that. So now our new trend lines are ready, because yesterday the price broke the trend line and our trend line helped in identifying the key zone where it's going to be broken. But here we are not going to modify the trend line. If you see the downtrend which where the price took the resistance, it's up to the traders to decide whether you should keep this point as a reference or the yesterday's high as a reference. Since it is a very tiny difference, what I assume is that because this point is quite relevant because it is in line with the resistance line, so I am considering this point, leaving out this point. So let us move on. So now our two trend lines are ready. So this is the way of modifying the trend lines and identifying the trend. So today's trend lines is quite important because you can see average is converging here, the trend lines are converging, so it's going to play a very key role today. Moreover, we have crude oil inventory report to show us a good price action. So we have lot of news. Mr. Bernanke, he is speaking. So there are some few newses up there. The most important is crude oil inventory report. So there are lot of news that can give us a price volatility. As you all know, we are not going to analyze the depth of the news, as we know that market discounts everything. We need that news so that the market can give us a very good price actions. So as far as today is concerned, what we can expect from the market? So we stayed very conservative just to identify, just for the market to come to our exact point. Now it is in our zone. Now the price is in our zone. So today the expected price opening can be bit lower than the previous day's price closing. We are predicting the price opening based on Mcx price direction. As you all know, today the rupee and dollar is playing a huge impact in deciding the price opening and deciding the price value of a particular commodity. So that is also going to play a major role. So today's price opening can play a key role. So what we can do is that this is going to be the most key expected zone here. So I am going to extend the zone. So have a close look into that. If the price is breaking 6220 and this area of zone, and if it is staying lower and a closing below this, will give us a confirmation that the price is moving down. So this is going to be the trend deciding zone in crude oil. Moreover, within few days this contract will also expire. Have that in mind. By the end of this week, this contract will expire. Keep it in mind when you are going to take a position. Keep that in mind. So what we should focus is that whether the price is breaking this trend line, the true line trend line which we had drawn, and also the average line which also will be helping us. So if the price is making the first closing below, then it gives us the first confirmation that the price is moving downwards, because it is trading below the average, below the key trend deciding decision zone. We call this as a trend deciding decision zone. So all the zones are not trend deciding decision zones. Only certain particular zone will be called as a trend deciding decision zone, because in this zone most of the large fund managers they will be waiting for the price to come to this zone, then they will put their investment in a particular area so that the market will reverse or pull back from this zone. So two things are possible here, like what happened earlier. You can see that in this area, that was on 9th of July, so the market entered into this zone and it gave a clear uptrend after that. So that is the major reason we call this as a trend deciding zone. If the price can stay above or sustain this area, we can consider this that the market still has got a lot of buyer to push the price higher. But if it is going to be failure, then you can say first confirmation will come as such when the price close below this key zone. The second confirmation will come if the price closed below 6160. Then we can say the crude oil has got a lot of potential to stay in downtrend. But till then, make a note that we are not saying that the price has reversed its trend now. Only if the price is breaking, that depends upon how the market is going to react today. So kindly follow the trend line, make use of the trend lines. But if the price is moving up, for example, let us take this scenario. If the price is just moving and taking a resistance around 6250, or it will take a resistance around this downtrend line. Have a close look into the downtrend line also. So if there is any resistance, the price will be taking a resistance in this zone and then it will be coming down. So kindly follow this downtrend line and the downtrend line which we had drawn earlier. So this is one of the best way to draw the trend lines. Use traditional support lines and resistance line. We include these trend lines into the support and resistance like category, and also we use this traditional moving average to identify the key trend deciding zones. So this is what we are expecting. Today is going to be the crucial day for traders, for crude oil traders. So this is the area where we are saying this again and again. When the price consolidates, this is the area where most traders will lose their focus and they take the wrong decision. So this is the one particular area where you should focus a lot by using these traditional tools. If you can clear this zone, then you will pick in line with the trend. As we always say, our strategy completely depends upon the trend, to identify the trend and to stay in line and to ride on the trend. Thanks a lot for watching our videos. Till now we are saying unless until the price breaks this zone, we don't expect the crude to show a reversal in trend. Wait for the price to break, then take your decision. Thanks a lot for watching.